Hello there, my name is Valerie White-Williams, and today I am talking about the next stage of using roses to develop your clairvoyance. So I have several other videos about creating and destroying roses. So that's the foundation, and if you haven't watched that video, you're going to be a little bit lost because that's how we learn to visualize a rose and destroy a rose, and visualize a rose and destroy a rose. So the next step, as we're going to use the roses, is we're going to allow ourselves to visualize. And so the other video I talked about is allowing yourself to see the pictures on your screen. So that's another video. So you should probably watch that as well, is being receptive to the images. And that means you have to be in a trance state, and you got to be clear and trust what you see on your screen. Okay, so here is the next stage, is that we're going to use a rose, which is a neutral symbol. And this is something you do when you close your eyes. You're going to visualize that rose and destroy it. So first of all, when you're going to do these things, we need to prepare ourselves to be receptive, because to be clairvoyant, it's really important that you are neutral. I know, this is something that's completely opposite what's going on in our culture right now. Everybody's so inflamed about everything. But to be a clairvoyant, you can't have an opinion, meaning you need to see what you see. And sometimes you want to see stuff and you don't want to see it. That happens a lot. Like, I don't want to see it. But this is what clairvoyance is. It's clear seeing. And we use a lot of symbols. A lot of symbols show up in the clairvoyant reading process. So this is this exercise. So what you're going to do first is you're going to do grounding. We're going to ground first, because if we're not grounded, we're not plugged into the earth, so our electrical energy is going down into the earth, we can be a little more flighty. And so we need to be grounded, and grounding makes our body feel safe. It's like we're not floating in the air. We're going to breathe down and get grounding from our first chakra all the way down. Then we're going to let the earth energy come up through our feet chakras, and let the earth come in and go through our body. Now, we were taught to, when we were meditating, to sit in a chair. It's not like the yoga positions. We're not doing anything cross-legged, because we want to feel a real grounded place, because we're trying to balance the groundedness of our body with the spiritual energy that's coming and flowing through us. And we have all these portals around our body. That's what when you see auras and things, is that the portals are constantly swirling around our body when we are animate in our body. And so we're going to ground, and then we're going to bring cosmic energy down the back channels. And think of it like water, just washing away anything that's blocking you from being really clear and in the moment. And then as the back channels go down, we're going to mix, and we're going to allow the front channels to mix with the earth energy and cosmic energy, and allow it to flow up the front of us. And it feels kind of really good when you, what we call, run the energy. I have videos on that as well. And so the more you practice feeling this groundedness and energy flowing, it's going to help you be in a neutral place, because that's what we do when we read, is we have to be in a neutral place, not a judgmental place. In fact, we were taught not to give advice or tell the future, and that's the spiritual ethics. I have a video about that too. So what you're going to do is, okay, so once you do all those things, you're going to find the center of your head. Now the center of your head is high, right here, you know, that third eye, and it's also kind of right here. And so basically we're not in our mind, but we're stepping a little bit back, so we can see that screen and not trying to figure it all out. Because that's our mental mind. That's our monkey mind. We need to be reflective. So then once we're in that place, you can close your eyes. We're going to do the creating and destroying roses. So we're going to think of creating a rose, see it. I'm looking at a red one, and then I'm just going to go and erase it. I mean, you can blow them up, you can do erasing it, you can just suck the energy out of it, whatever you want to do, whatever makes sense to you or sounds fun. So we're going to create another rose, and then we're going to let it go. Now, what we use roses for is that creating, destroying roses, we are going to let go of anything that's blocking you from really understanding the receptivity of clairvoyance. So we're going to think of a rose. We're going to put all that doubt and insecurity or I can't do it-ism, put that in the rose, give it all to the rose, and then you're going to blow it up. And this is real. I just did it myself on camera, and I could feel that release of energy. So we're going to do another one. Put another rose up there. I'm going to put my weirdness doing this on camera. Put it in that rose. And then we're going to blow it up. And this is a great way to just relieve. You can use this at any time to create and destroy roses, to let go of things that are making you feel uncomfortable or helping you feel more calm. So let's do one more. Okay. Blow that, boom. So now this is a little more advanced task. We are going to think and put that rose up, and then we're going to allow that rose to give you information about something. So let's talk about your ability to be a clairvoyant, okay? So you're going to close your eyes and you're going to see a rose and see what it looks like. So I'm looking at my rose. And so we're going to look at the rose, and we're going to look at the hip of the rose and then the stem of the rose. And so with my rose, I see a really full flowered rose, and it's kind of almost like a ball. There's a lot of petals there. It's really big and it's really full. This one happens to be pink. It looks like it's pretty attached to that hip of the rose. We see that if it's attached to the hip of the rose, you're connected. You're connected. So the rose is under this, we'll call the god of the heart. So the rose opens up to the sun, and that rose is pretty big and has a lot to do with that. And then the hip is kind of from the cosmic vision to the body, and the stem represents the body. So when you see that stem, sometimes you'll see a big giant rose, but a really little stem, or other things, or separations. And so what you have to do, if you don't think, oh, I don't see anything, then you're going to do creating and destroying roses more times, because that's going to help you. You can also breathe down your grounding cord all the way down. So if you're feeling awkward, continue to create and destroy roses. And again, we're going to create a rose, put that awkward in there, get that doubt in there, blow it up. So you can see more clearly what's going on here. So for me, I have a lot to say. I see that big, so then you're going to interpret it. So you're going to see that rose, and then you're going to interpret what it's telling you. So for me, I have a lot to say. I have a lot of spiritual clairvoyance that is all balled up, ready to speak. And then I have that hip, which is grounded, but it's almost like I need to talk more. That's what I'm sensing in my rose, is that I need to talk about this more. It's all balled up on me and it's full, but it needs to have some release. And it is pretty grounded. My stem could be thicker, which means that we could give a bit more support. So then we can do some energy work on that. We're going to think of, and what you can do is you can see that rose, and you can actually ground the rose. Ground that rose. Ooh, and that feels already better. I know this sounds really cosmic, but this is how we work as clairvoyants, because everything is visual. It all starts on the visual plane, and then it becomes physical. That's how it works. So I'm going to do a little energy work on my rose right now. Sometimes just breathing, getting it a little bit stronger. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I've kind of done some healing work, helping the energy come through that rose and really grounding it and anchoring it in a way that it's going to support me in a way. So you don't want to be all woo, woohoo, and then you don't feel grounded in your body. And that's a quandary that a lot of people struggle with. So you want to just see that. So this is kind of a bigger lesson, and it's something that you might need to practice more and more, because people usually go, I don't see anything, I'm not doing it right, it's wrong. Go back to doing the creating and destroying roses, and then also try not to think. You don't want to overthink. You want to actually step back. So those are the two things that people usually do. They don't know how to step back, and they don't know how to bring their energy in a place that's grounded and spiritual and reflective. And it takes practice. It's a skill, like music, art, anything that's creative, learning how to ride a bike, sports, all of it. We just need to have that practice. So that's the thing. So what you can do with it, think about a rose, you can think of a rose like say you have a job interview, okay? So you're gonna do creating destroying roses to kind of make yourself feel calm about your job interview. And then you're gonna maybe take a look at a rose and say, okay, how am I feeling right now about my interview? And then that rose will come up, and then you can kind of take a look at it. Does it look healthy? Is it overbalanced? Is it weak? And then that's how you can kind of ground the rose. Now what you do is you can use your hands and visualize and put a nice good grounding cord on that rose. Attach it down to the center of the earth. It's a grounding, it's an electric cord to go down. And then you can give your rose a healing. I know this is like really jumbo-y sound, this it's lingoism. But you're going to use your hands to allow that rose to accept that cosmic energy and to be grounded and allow it to flourish. I mean, this stuff really works. It really does work, and you just have to practice it. So I'll be talking more about the clairvoyance, but this is kind of like the baby level step of really getting clear. And like I said, make sure that you're grounded. You do all that first. And if you're having problems seeing, just continue to create and destroy roses and put in that rose what's keeping you from your divine right of creating spiritually. That's what we're here to do. That's what we are here to do. And we have a lot of work ahead of us. We got to get rid of the overlords, and we're working on that right now. So I'd love to hear what you have to say about this lesson on clairvoyance. And make sure you subscribe and click on the bell so you get notified of all of my uploads. And the thing about clairvoyance is completely opposite than astrology, because astrology is very male-oriented, it's very structured. There is some clairvoyance, because clairvoyance also is the geometries. The geometry is what all astrology is about. So that's a different focus. We see these geometries, where clairvoyance is a bit more receptive. It's more of a feminine energy, meaning you're reflecting things and you're allowing things to come to you. This is why I love astrology and I love clairvoyance, because there's kind of a balance. And it's okay if you prefer one or the other, but here's the deal. We're all clairvoyant. We've lost our skills. We've lost a lot of skills because this is what's on the planet right now. It's a lot of control drama and keeping us from our power and our spirituality, and be able to uplift ourselves, our physical body, as well as our spiritual body, mental body, emotional body, and cosmic body. Because we are children of God. We are. And we are in a process right now to recover what we used to have. Yes, that is true. So I want to make sure that you know of my group called Creative Soul Alignment. It's on Facebook, and that's where I pretty much put most of my videos up there, so you can find them. Thank you for subscribing to Cosmic Splendor, because we need more people to be on this wavelength so we can actually change the world. That's why we're here. We're here to change the world. And these are some tools that can keep us focused on what that task is. And it's going to be a beautiful day. I've seen it my whole life. All right, take care and I'll see you next time. Bye.